Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the fuck up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
Here we go. Believe you me.
What's up, Lewis? Episode 94. We are slowly approaching that 100 mark. We need to get a live show organized. That's down to you, Lewis. You know, you're the big time Gas Digital head honcho person. You know, you're the guy with all the answers. You're the guy that's telling me to rearrange my house so it looks better on camera. You're like, Mike, listen, we're going to send down a team of engineers and maybe we're going to figure out the back of your house. I'm like, whoa. Stop right there, motherfucker. Okay? You don't need to come down here and tell me how to interior decorate my house. Okay? My house is very nice, Lewis. As I said last week, if any background needs work, it's your background. Your background sucks. It's completely devoid of any personality whatsoever. And let's remember, this is my home. This is my domicile. This is where my children live. This is where I raised the Bisping family. And you're going to send down Harrington and Bobby Hutch to redo my house, the interior design.
This is my home. This is where my kids sleep. My wife lives. My dog jizzes all over the floors.
Oh, my God. That was funny. You know, first of all, everybody, sorry about last week. The sound quality wasn't the best, but it was a very funny episode. That stuff with the dog jizz, I listened to it back. I was laughing my ass off. And I'm hoping and praying that some people have sent in possible mates, candidates for Alfie, because, you know, that guy's he's got a lot of tension, shall we say.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, at this point, for the sake of your wife, I just want somebody to send over their dog and just, you know, let Alfie have her way. It's going to be one time. Are you going to get Alfie's balls clipped directly after the deed is done? Like, is he going to have time for a cigarette and relax a little bit? Or are you just saying, get in the car, we're going?
I said, listen, you had your moment, okay? Get over it. Get in the car. We're going to the vets. We're going to snip your balls. It is Monday morning, as we say, episode 94. Massive event at the weekend, UFC 230. Daniel Cormiers, unsurprisingly, stealing the show. We'll get into all that a little bit later, but we'd like to start with some nonsense. What's new in your life, Lewis? Anything worth mentioning? Anything you want to talk about? That's suitable for the show.
Okay. Well, you know, I was thinking about all of the horrible things that I do in my nights, so none of those are good. No, I mean, really, not much. I've been traveling a lot. I did end up going to the fights. I met a bunch of fans who are huge fans of the show, which is pretty cool. I don't really get recognized at, you know, walking down the street as often as one Mr. Michael Bisping, but now that the show is growing, the fans, they come up, and I was with my buddy Chris, who's another podcaster from High Sided Radio, great show here on the network, and it was pretty cool because I probably got recognized. If I had I would say probably 10 times walking through the hallways to the seats, and each time, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever see me, I don't know, Michael Bisping's probably annoyed because he's fucking actually famous, but if you ever see me and I'm with another person, especially a chick, make me look cool, motherfucker. Make me look like I'm awesome. Come up to me and start praying to me. You remember in Coming to America where...
Yeah, Akeem.
Yes, he sees him in the thing. Pretend I'm the prince of your African fucking country. Okay.
Yeah. I think we said that last time. I think you've used that joke already, Lewis. Unfortunately.
It's not a joke. It's the reality. That's what I'm looking for. Michael Bisping just left the show. It's over. Goodbye. What are you doing?
You've used that joke before, Lewis. You get the shame bell. We're 5 minutes in, and I'm shaming you. Listen, you can't use same jokes multiple times.
Michael Bisping has told the story. Yeah, I was going to say, you motherfucker, how many times have you said, oh my, if the mighty have fallen, talking about Ellis Mania? I've heard that 30 fucking times.
No. I said it once on the podcast. I said it once on the live show on Gas Digital, different fucking audience, and I might have said it in person. So there you go. And it was funny, and it got a laugh. So kiss my ass. Different audiences, that's okay. You know, I was watching your buddy Big Jay Oakerson on The Degenerates on Netflix with Joey Diaz. Job well done. Very good. Highly recommend it, everybody. Big Jay Oakerson, Joey Diaz, bunch of other people, some women that weren't so funny. Other than that, very, very good show. But I saw that set. I saw the set at the Brea Irvine Comedy Club. Different audience, different crowd. You're allowed to do that, Lewis. Okay?
Right.
You know this.
Right. Wait, are you saying you saw the sets you were upset or?
I was kind of a little bummed out. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is great. It's totally hilarious. But I have seen it.
People that, if you know anything about stand-up comedy, you're seeing the process, right? So when you go to a comedy club and you see them working on it, what a comedian is working on is they're working on their television set. They're whittling it down, and you don't see the nuance in it because you don't pay attention to the jokes that much. But if you probably look at it from what he did in Brea to what he did on television, I'm sure it changed, tremendously by comedic standards. Yeah.
No, I get it. He's honing the craft. He's perfecting the set. I get that, Lewis. And don't say I don't pay attention to the jokes. If I go to watch a stand-up comedian, that's all I'm paying attention to. Literally the only thing I'm paying attention to other than my phone is the jokes.
Well, because you got your nose in your phone and you're heckling the comedians. You're like, that joke sucked, mate. Bring me another beer.
Heard it before. What kind of loser uses the same material twice?
Fucking idiot. But no, I would say that it's like this, right? So if you go see somebody at a comedy club in, especially a big city like a Showcase, the best way to describe it, the analogy for a fighter would be like going to watch you train. It would be like watching you prepare for a fight and watching you spar. And it's seeing pieces of what you do, but watching you spar isn't the same experience as watching you fight for a title.
No, they're very different things. I will tell you this, Lewis. I have a very itchy face right now.
Ew.
You probably know my wife has made me fucking grow this beard. This is. I'm not a real man. I can't grow like a big, fat, buffy, fluffy, should I say, beard. You know what I mean? This is as good as it gets. And my wife's like, no, do not shave. Do not shave. So I'm kind
Why,
of
she
like,
likes a beard?
She wants me to grow a beard for once in my life. You know what I mean? I generally have a stubble chin, but I've never had a beard. Can you grow a man's beard?
No, dude, I'm
Lewis?
Puerto Rican. I get little scraggles on my face. It's not good at all.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, I don't really think a beard. I don't like a beard. I don't like, I guess I would have done it just for the novelty of it. But isn't there a thing right now like Mustache November or something? What is that?
It's Movember.
What is that? Is that why you're doing it?
Movember.
Is it charity? What is it?
It's just a stupid thing, just like your buddies sober Octobering all over the place and not shutting up about it. Now everybody does Movember. You
do not disrespect Joe fucking Rogan.
Listen, never would I dream of disrespecting the almighty Joe Rogan. Come on, I wasn't disrespecting him.
Sorry,
I
Joe.
am. Sorry. Spit on me. Somebody spit on me right now.
Shame Michael Bisping for disrespecting Joe Rogan.
I never disrespected him, but we get it. Sober October, shut the fuck up. I did Sober October for about a day. I remember I was in the gym, and I think we talked about this. Jason Prillo texted me. He said, "What are you doing? Let's have a beer." I said, "No, I'm going to try this whole Sober October thing." And he's like, "Wow, okay." And then that night I broke, so I lasted one day. That's good. I tried to grow this beard. It's scratchy, it's itchy. I can't wait to get rid of it. My wife is insisting I leave it. I said it's just kind of like messy and scraggly, and she's like, "Yeah, you're gonna get past that phase." But I feel like a scruff. So
and then it becomes nice and soft and attractive. I think women that like beards, I don't know.
Steady on, Lewis. Careful.
I don't want to say anything bad about your wife, so we'll just we'll keep moving.
Use your words very carefully.
I think that they're angels amongst women, and I think that they should be treated right. And beards are fucking gross, dude. You ever see Harrington eat a sandwich? Mayonnaise gets caught in it. It's fucking disgusting. Ugh.
Yeah, that's Harrington eating a sandwich with a beard. I like to think I have a decent command over a knife and fork, or perhaps my hand and my mouth coordination. It's pretty good. Whether I'm eating a sandwich or doing whatever. Never had any complaints.
You have unbelievable hand to mouth coordination. I've heard that from many people.
Who the fuck have you been talking to? I tell you what, I did see on the news this morning, before we get into professional mixed martial arts and professional fighting, there was a little bit of amateur fighting on the news this morning between, I think it was a school in Florida or somewhere. Basically, a teacher was teaching a class, funnily enough, and he was a black gentleman. And one of his pupils was a little asshole. While I'm talking, maybe Harrington can find a clip. This teacher gets up this teacher, the student gets up, gets in his face, and is calling him the N-word repeatedly, throws a basketball at him.
Hold on. I think that I did read that, but I think the kid's Hispanic, no? And he wasn't saying the N-word as in like you are an Nigger. He was saying it in the urban youth way, as in like, yo, what up, nigga? Like,
Really?
It sounded like that when I watched, and he did seem like he was Hispanic. And I grew up in a very Hispanic, community when I was growing up in Haverstraw, New York. Represent Rockland County. What's up?
You've never mentioned it, Lewis. You're Hispanic. You're Hispanic, and you're defending the Hispanic guy insulting a teacher, calling him the N-word. But because he's Hispanic, that's okay.
Well, I'm just saying it's not exactly it's not him using the N-word in a malicious way. He's saying it in a, the way a rapper would say it.
He was using it as part of his street vocabulary.
There we go. So yeah. I can't fault him. I think the kid was definitely being a piece of shit. And we talked about this. I don't believe in striking, your own children, much less somebody else's children. So I do think we should watch the video before we get into our opinions on it. But yeah, I agree. The kid was being fucking way out of line.
I watched it. It was on the news. That's another thing that annoys me. Morning news out here. It shows a story, and then they're obviously slow on news, so they cycle the news stories every 15 minutes or so. So unfortunately, as I was doing my emails and all that type of stuff this morning, I saw it several times. And what happens is the kid gets in the teacher's face, and the teacher is super calm, and he's got his hands down by his side, he's doing nothing, and then the teacher just snaps and literally swings on the kid, and then a fight breaks out, and I think he has his phone in his hand. And he's cracking the kid in the head with his phone about 10 times. And then, and then he's swinging on him again. I feel, and now apparently there's been a huge outpour of support for the teacher. They've created a GoFundMe page, all the students and the parents and things. As I say, a GoFundMe page to help him be, support his family whilst he's suspended from school and all the rest
he's arrested.
Of it.
He was arrested. $50,000 bond.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right, $50,000. Now, I feel for the guy. I do feel for the guy. But I think in this day and age, especially being a teacher at school, you can't lose the plot like that. You can't fucking swing on one of your students, regardless of anything they say. A teacher ultimately, they're trying to teach you, academics, but also I feel a teacher should be trying to, be a good example and teach you how to live your life, and for the teacher to snap and literally swing, like trying to knock him out. It's no good. And I don't want to rain down on this poor guy because by all accounts, he's a very good teacher, very popular. But you can't do that, man. You can't go swinging on fucking teachers. On students.
The kid apparently, here, show the video. Show it while we talk about it, because we can actually just show the moment where actually the kid, the student actually swings on the kid. Because leading up to it, the kid's talking shit, saying, I'll fuck you up, blah, blah, blah. He keeps on calling him a bitch. He throws his basketball, I guess, at him, which is the most hilariously fucking urban high school youth thing to do to somebody.
Why has he got a basketball in class?
He's a fucking future star.
No, but that just shows that this teacher has no command of the room. Okay, first things first, phones off. Basketballs shouldn't even make it into the room. I mean, when he sees a student confronting him with a goddamn basketball, it should be like, hold on a minute, you shouldn't even have that ball in here. This isn't PE. This isn't games. We're not playing basketball.
It's a very white privilege attitude, Michael Bisping. These little urban youths, they don't have the same opportunities that you had growing up, okay? They have basketball. They got fucking hip-hop circles.
No. So you can't walk into an English classroom kicking a soccer ball about and doing fucking keepy-ups, fucking volleys and headers.
That's how I imagine it, by the way. That's how I imagine every high school.
Just on the shoulders and shit. It's like, yeah, I'm fucking trying out for the World Cup. Hold on a minute, sir. You're an N. No, it's not like that. The teacher fucked up straight away. As soon as I see the basketball, I'm like, teacher's a moron.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a music class, no? Because I think there was kids playing saxophone in class. Otherwise, the teacher has no control at all. It's like kids are spinning basketballs. I'll be honest,
when I was at school, music class kind of like anything went at music class. Like the behavior definitely went down a notch. Bad language was almost accepted. Or am I thinking of art class? No, it's art class. Art class, it was a free-for-all. You know what I mean? No one really did anything in art class.
The teacher always smelled like weed, and you got to, whatever. How are they going to grade your art? How are they going to tell you that it's not, isn't art supposed to be subjective? So you're going to tell this kid who paints something, he's got a C, and this other kid, he's got an A? Fuck off. No, that's an A too. What are you talking about?
Subjective art. All right, so the Harrington totally failed once again at showing the video, but that's
I'm trying to ignore it. I'm trying to ignore the fact
that he put on some random guy who was stilled. He pushed it fast forward. Then he went to the newsreader. It's okay, Harrington. Here's homework. Rather than you telling me to figure out my background, and how to redecorate my house for next week, let's have the integration of the video clip situation taken care of.
Cool. Harrington, you're fucking fired. You're fired.
It's YouTube. For once, it's not
YouTube.
Me. It's YouTube.
Hold on.
YouTube will not play videos.
No, hold on. Stop. So every time I have a Wi-Fi issue at my place, you're telling me I got to call out the guy. I'm going to get a hard line installed. We're going to get an engineer out here.
17 seconds long, and there is no mention of the fight. Well, tomorrow morning,
YouTube won't play videos. YouTube won't play videos, he says. I hate you. I'm sorry. Let's just move on.
Harrington, I actually quite enjoy this because it's good for me because it's giving me so much ammunition. Next time Lewis wants to talk shit, saying I need a producer. I don't need a producer to turn a fucking computer on.
I need a producer.
You might do because Mr. Fancy Pants over there, Mr. Big Time Ellis Mania, you might do. I don't. I just need to turn my computer on, turn on the microphone, and away we go. Okay?
I want everyone to point out that Harrington just said YouTube won't play videos. And
hold on, Lewis. Hold on.
I've tried 4 videos.
That? Hold on, Harrington. Stop. Lewis, are you saying that your staff are lying to you live on air in front of the world?
My former staff.
Lack of respect right there. I mean, is he inspired by this child that is throwing basketballs? He's like, yes, I'm going to revolt against Lewis.
It's fine. People know the video. They can watch it. The point, all right, we were talking about it. I understand. We've talked about it plenty of times on the show because we've all been into stupid fucking altercations in life. Before, there's one point you forget about your job, you forget about whatever it is, and you say, fuck it, I don't care. And that's what he did in that moment. Either he snapped and can't control himself, right? Or he said, fuck it, I don't care about my job anymore, and I'm going to beat the shit out of this kid. It's more important for my ego and my male pride to, beat up this kid. And he did put a beating on him. I really wish we should get Robin Black to do a breakdown on this show. Maybe he'll come back on the show next week because his breakdowns are hilarious, by the way.
When I was at school, of course, when I was getting older, there was a few teachers that you want to swing on. Of course there is, but you don't do that. There was one in particular, Mr. Johnson, okay, that was the the drama teacher, okay? And they were taking in turns at monitoring the dining room and this and that. And at our school, if you were in the 4th or the 5th year, which is equivalent to you for a junior or a senior, if you're in the 4th or the 5th year, you could skip the dinner line and go in front of the younger kids. Okay, that's just the way it worked. That is how it worked. Okay, if there was because first year, second year, third year, they would last to get the dinner. 4th and 5th year, it's just the way it worked. It was the pecking order at the school, right? So if there was only first, second, or third years in line, if you were in the 4th or 5th year, you could walk straight to the front of the line because you
walk in front of them.
Yeah, because you've had 3 years of waiting. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it worked. So I walk into the dining room, and it's towards the end, and there's a line of little puny first, second, and third-year-old. So I walk up to the front, and as I say, I've done my time waiting and queuing up, starving for that piece of shitty cardboard pizza, okay? And I exercise my right to walk to the front, and Mr. Johnson walks up and grabs me and throws me right to the back of the line. And I was, oh my God, I was so fuming. And he was trying to get a rise out of me. And he was screaming in my face and stuff. And I can't remember what he said, but he was trying to get a rise out of me. He was in my face screaming at me and this and that. And in the end, I just went, fuck you, and walked off. And he went, yes, that is it. I've done it. You are out of the school. You just told me to F off, and that is it. And the glee on his face. He was so happy that I swore it. He thought, here we go. I'm going to get Michael Bisping expelled. And I stormed off. Anyway, I didn't get expelled, but my point is,
they never found his body.
He never swung a punch at me, and I never swung a punch at him because you can't do that. So that teacher, I feel sorry for him. Shitty situation.
Yeah. I mean, The regular people, you gotta, they're teachers, and I know that I don't know how it is in England, but here in the United States, it's a public school teacher. It's really hard to even get them fired. They get in tons of trouble. They just move them around.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very protected job, and but they're still human beings. It's like people say this about cops all the time. It's like, dude, people have bad days. People make mistakes at work. Like, people, they have there's always a breaking point for somebody, and it's like you literally watch this video. It's a breaking point. Hold on.
Oh no, for sure that was a breaking point. But you just mentioned cops there. A cop cannot have a breaking point. They shouldn't have.
No, maybe they shouldn't.
These are the people that are trained to protect and serve the public. Okay, that is on their badge. Protect and serve. And they're not always protecting and serving. And if they're not protecting and serving, and they're being pieces of shit, and they're snapping, and they're showing that they've broken at the breaking point, then they've got no business being a cop.
I agree, but the point I'm making is that all humans have that point, and they're human beings. So whether it's wrong or right or whatever it is,
why there should be guns everywhere in America? Because everybody does at that breaking point. Don't want to get too political, but you're right. Everyone has the breaking point, so let's give everybody a fucking gun.
That's right.
Let's make it an assault machine gun.
My breaking
so we can
point.
Kill a lot of people.
My breaking point. If you gave me a gun, I would have shot Harrington 3 times on today's show already. It's a handgun. Dude, if I had an AR-15, I would have sprayed the fucking production office 7 times over. Shannon would just be fucking, it would be silicone spraying out of her boobs everywhere.
It's true though.
Yeah.
It's true. That is the, and obviously don't get me started on mental health. And I don't want to go down this route because it divides everybody, for the American listeners. The rest of the world think you're all fucking crazy, just throwing that out there. But the American listeners, oh man, we'll get out of this country then if you don't want to be here. I do want to be here.
Love it or leave it.
I just don't want innocent people getting shot in the face.
Yeah,
certainly not children, and certainly not children at schools. Call me crazy, but it's a very unpopular opinion, and we're not a political show, so we'll move on.
These colors don't run, Michael Bisping, and if you don't love this country, maybe you should go back to your fucking whatever, the gray, dark, dingy island that your people are from.
I'm very proud to be English, Lewis.
I know you
very, very proud.
I know. Well, let me make this point actually, because forget all the fucking specifics of the politics, right? Who cares? A lot of people do. Fine. Too many people care. I think this is the problem in this country. It's like, look, you should be able to disagree with somebody about politics or about social issues, and that's it. It should be as simple as like, cool, we don't agree.
And,
who gives a fuck?
And be able to keep your cool about it.
But even not even that much. Like when you go to the supermarket right now, the person bagging your groceries, I don't give a fuck who he voted for. He doesn't give a fuck who you voted for. It's all this bullshit online, Facebook, social media, Twitter world that we live in, where as soon as you put your phone down for a second, you realize that real people in the real world, 99% of the time, aren't at odds constantly. And it feels like we're always at odds, but just put your phone away. If your phone battery dies, you will realize exactly how not at odds you are, because you don't have time. You have to you have to figure out how to, get directions without your cell phone or where to get lunch today or whatever it is. And you're just walking around just kind of like having to have real human social interaction. And to get from point A to point B, you can't be a dick and go, whoa, who did you vote for? Did you vote for Trump? Well, fuck you. I'm not going to take your directions. You'll never go anywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, but we don't want to get too political. You just mentioned cell phones, and at the weekend, I worked the Fights for Fox, and Rebecca and Lucas, my youngest, came to stay in the hotel with me. And I took him to the restroom, and as we were walking out the restroom in the hotel lobby, there's a payphone. And he was very curious. He didn't know what a payphone was. And he's like, he just couldn't compute that you put money into it and then you spoke and called people. And he was like, what? And have you used one of these, Daddy? I'm like, yeah, of course. And then that got me thinking, can you remember what it was like before cell phones? I mean, how the hell did people ever meet? You used to say, I'll meet you at the bus stop at 10 o'clock. And that was that. And you had no recourse. And hopefully they showed up. Hopefully they didn't, What are you shaking your head?
Well, I'm agreeing with you. I'm like almost remembering moments where like my entire trajectory of my life was probably set off into a different direction because I couldn't meet up with my friend at the mall because we missed each other by 15 minutes.
Yeah. Crazy. Anyway,
you also had to be better. I mean, I have major ADD. That's also one of my triggers with my issues. If I'm running late somewhere, like I get very anxious, and God forbid the bus driver, taxi driver, fucking, airport attendant, whoever it is that's in my way of being late, they have to deal with the brunt of my fucking super crazy like aggression. It's not right.
Yeah.
But
was it last week? Last week I was in Toronto on Playline Business. Check it out, playline.com. Win some free money. Anyway, that's not an ad. But I was supposed to fly on the Thursday morning. I had an 11 o'clock flight. So I get to the airport at 9 o'clock and I try and check in, and I can't check in because my passport was stolen out of the car. So I got myself a new passport, of course. But my ETA, electronic visa, which allows you to board a plane, was attached to my old passport. Okay. So they said, I'm sorry, you can't get on the plane. So anyway, I call my partners at Playland. They're like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, sorry guys, I can't be there. They're like, I know. There's a flight to Buffalo at 10:45 p.m. tonight. Okay. Fly to Buffalo. Then we'll get you a car service to drive you from Buffalo, New York, cross the border that way and drive you up to Toronto, like a 3-hour drive. I'm like, okay, screw it. I'll do that. So I hang around the airport all day. I start getting tired. So I go and check into this crappy hotel just to lie down and have a nap. From 9 till 10:45 p.m. That's a long time to be hanging around LAX. Anyway, so I come downstairs in the hotel that I've checked into, and I get some dinner, and I look at my watch. It's 8:30. Okay, now it's a domestic flight to Buffalo, so you got to check in at least an hour before the flight. So I think, okay, I'll head over to the airport. I asked the guy, the concierge, I said, can I get a cab? He said, oh no, there's a shuttle, take you right there. Every 5 minutes, he'll be here in a second. I sit there, I wait for half an hour. The shuttle finally comes. I'm starting to get a little anxious because I'm like, shit, right? He pulls up, takes the bags off. He says, no, I'm sorry. I'm done for the day. This is my last one. I'm like, oh, crap, I'm going to miss my flight. I'll get a cab. He said, no. There's one going to be here in 3 or 4 minutes. No. Just wait here. I'm like, okay. So then I wait like an asshole, and it's been like 20 minutes. And now I'm like, fuck, I've been waiting from 9 a.m. and my next flight is at 10:45 p.m., right? And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Eventually, the shuttle pulls up, right? I'm not exaggerating on the times. We get on the shuttle, but first of all, because it's a shuttle, he's going to go somewhere else to drop some other people off first. Now I'm starting to freak out. My mind is starting to explode, and this guy's going really slow, and then he's stopping at every so-called bus stop, stopping, nobody there, takes his seatbelt off, gets out the bus, walks up and down, looks around, making sure I'm doing his due diligence, being a good shuttle driver, if I'm honest. But the seconds are counting down, or the minutes are counting down to me missing a flight. And I'm like, I don't believe this. Then we get to LAX. And of course, I'm at Terminal 5. So we got to go through 1, 2, 3, 4. But the traffic is not moving at all. And I'm sitting there, I'm going, please go a little faster. And the guy was an asshole, so we started having a bit of a back and forth. I'm like, can you just try and make the light, please? I'm going to miss my flight. And so, hey man, you should have set up sooner. I'm like, fuck, I don't believe this. Because, can you imagine the embarrassment? I call at 9 a.m., say, I can't get my flight to Toronto. They say, it's okay, there's a flight at 10:45 p.m. to Buffalo. I'm like, okay. And then I got to call back and say, yeah, I missed that 10:45 p.m. flight. I'd be the biggest loser ever. So I jump off at Terminal 2 with my suitcase, and I'm sprinting 1,000,000 miles an hour, well, as fast as these legs and knees will carry me, to Terminal 5. Just check in. But to go back to your point, when you're running late and you're going to miss something, shit starts breaking loose. Like, I'll be an asshole at home, and I tell Rebecca, because she starts giving me shit. And I'm like, babe, I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at the situation.
I'm mad at the world.
Mad at the situation. I can't find my car keys. I can't find my wallet. Okay, I'm freaking out. That doesn't mean I think you're a dickhead. Okay, I'm not mad at you. I'm just freaking out right now because I'm going to be late.
And now what you're doing, though, is you're making me displace my anger toward the world and toward the situation by you being a bitch in my ear, and now nagging me. Well, now I am mad at you. And now you're dealing with the brunt of all the other shit, and you could be helping me. You could be just saying, hey, babe, I love you.
Now it's taking longer to find my wallet and car keys because now I'm focusing my attention on you. Now I'm using that energy to argue with you, but also at the same time appease you and tell you, no, I'm not mad at you. I don't want to leave while we have a situation. But really, if you just shut the hell up and help me find my wallet, we'd be all good.
Yeah. I love you, you fucking bitch. Stop.
Exactly. Come on. Get the fucking keys.
I've been there so many times, just like in the moment where you have to say to your chick, like, well, do you think you're helping right now? I know I'm being a dick. Do you think I'm consciously going, time to be a dick to Kim? Time to just show her that I'm fucking. No. I'm freaking out. I have anger problems. My mom didn't hug me enough when I was a kid. Whatever the fuck it was, it has nothing to do with you. And I need a moment to freak out. And you know what would be the best thing in the world in that moment? And this is for any woman listening to this that has a man, that she's dating a man that sometimes gets a little bit hotter to the collar. Just give us a hug. Tell us you fucking love us. Pat us on the fucking shoulder and say, hey, baby, it's going to be okay. No. Michael Bisping will break your finger. Don't do that.
I'm getting too hot. I'm starting to sweat. Okay, I'm starting to wonder, is the AC on? Is the heating on in this house? The last thing I need is extra body warmth. Okay, I don't need my wife coming on to me and causing me to sweat and get overheated. Okay, when I get overheated, shit starts going wrong. Things get broken. Things get smashed up. Okay, that's why before this podcast started, I had to go turn the AC on down to 67. I can see Rebecca walking around in the background now, looking at herself, saying, "I'm going to crank that AC up in a minute." So if I lose my shit halfway through this podcast, it's because I'm too hot. So the last thing I need is a hug.
You don't want to hug when you're angry. All right, fine. That's it. Future times where if me and you ever get into an argument, I'm not going to try to hug it out with you. Just fucking break my sternum.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Don't mess with us when we're late, and don't give me a hug. There you go. All right, guys, let's just take a second to hear from one of our amazing sponsors, a regular for the show, betdsi.com. You know who they are, know what they're about. But if you don't, if you live under a rock, betdsi.com is an amazing sports betting platform that has been in business for over 20 years. BetDSI.com is a top-rated business on review size, easy to use and fast-playing interface. Bet games as you go, get live in-game wagering throughout the tournament, make plays throughout entire games and events. Best thing is the customer service is available 24/7, 365. BetDSI has built a reputation on fast payment of winnings. Lewis, you love BetDSI, right?
I love them, dude. They make it the best part of all is they make it easy. Sometimes it gets confusing. You don't know where your money's going. They make it really, really easy. What you have to do is when you go to betdsi.com, sign up, use the promo code BYM120. When you sign up, they got a few options. You could just play and cash out, which is fine, or you could take bonus money, which is like getting a casino comp up front before you've played at the tables. It has a rollover requirement, but it's free cash. So meaning whatever bonus money you play with, you have to roll that over and play with a certain amount of money. So just kind of read the requirements. It's up to you. But if you just go and just play and cash out, that's fine as well. You don't actually have to take advantage of those bonuses. But if you're going to be in the sports book, which is the way that I do it, I take the bonuses because why not? It's not just a one-time thing. Use the promo code BYM120. If you bet anything up until $1,000, they're going to give you a 60% cash bonus. So basically, if you bet up to $1,000, you bet $1,000, you're going to get $1,600. $100, you get $160. Nice and simple. Make sure you use that promo code BYM120 to let them know that we sent you there, and enjoy gambling.
Yeah, because sports or anything that you watch is better when you have money on the line. There's a big fight this weekend. It's the Korean Zombie versus Yair Rodriguez. I'll save my pick for Thursday, but that would be a perfect opportunity to use the fantastic deal we have going on at betdsi.com. Make it more interesting, enjoy the fights, and make some money. So there you go, betdsi.com. All right, Lewis, where were we? All right, as we said at the start of the show, UFC 230 happened at the weekend. Several talking points. Oh, Floyd Mayweather, got some juicy news on Floyd Mayweather. I'm trying to tease it like everybody doesn't fucking know. Of course we all know. Should we start with that? Or should we start? No, let's do UFC 230.
Yeah. That's so juicy. That's so fucking juicy.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking about it now. So obviously last night, which I'm assuming was Monday morning in Japan, Floyd Mayweather was at a press conference for RIZIN, which is the Japanese promotion. Used to be Pride, ran by the same people that ran Pride. So realistically, it's Pride, repackaged under a different corporate name. Floyd Mayweather versus, what is the name? I haven't got it in front of me. Tenshin Yakamamanama.
Which is crazy. Floyd Mayweather is fighting whoever that guy is. That's crazy.
Yeah. 20-year-old kickboxer.
27-0 kickboxer, 4-0 in MMA. But to the American audience, it's Tenshin Nasukawa. The fight is being promoted by RIZIN Federation, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I mean, this is like, for American audiences, a fairly unknown dude. I mean, unless you're really in the know, you don't really know much about this guy. You're really in the know, and you couldn't even pronounce his fucking last name. So it's...
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, Floyd Mayweather, I don't know what the play is here, okay? Because it's not everything it looks like. It can't. Of course, you're making the money sound. Of course, it's money. Of course, it's money.
No, I was rolling a booger on my finger.
Does RIZIN have that kind of money to pay Floyd Mayweather?
They have to. They're saying it's going to be like a 60,000 person arena. I'm assuming, like I said, we've talked about this before on this program, so very specifically about ONE FC and sort of what they're doing and bringing in a couple of the bigger UFC guys. Here we just don't, the American audience, they really only care about UFC. The average person, you want to get the casual fan, and UFC is synonymous with MMA. It's a Coca-Cola, it's the brand. It is, Bellator is doing great, but let's fucking get real, okay? It is the UFC, and we don't really look beyond that. I'm assuming that RIZIN must make fucking crazy money. They're doing a 60,000 person arena. They know how to promote it. I mean, if it's the people that are behind Pride, those had massive, massive audiences and had a huge popularity, and they were paying guys a lot back then. I'm just assuming they're going to co-promote it with him, and it's an opportunity to, I'm assuming make a shit ton of money. That's the play. And maybe for Floyd to dip his toe in the waters of MMA, because I think they're going to do this as kickboxing, because he showed himself with MMA gloves on. What were you going to say?
No. Well, I was going to say the rules have yet to be announced. Okay, so they're obviously going to do some kind of modified rules. Wouldn't totally surprise me if they came out and said it was going to be a boxing match. You never know. Maybe it's going to be a kickboxing match with modified rules, maybe kicks above the waist. Maybe it'll be that. Back in my kickboxing days, when I used to fight for the Black Knights in Burnley, the kickboxing I did was, kicks above the waist only. Maybe it will be that. That makes sense for Floyd Mayweather because obviously he's used to blocking punches to the face and the body, not kicks to the legs. So, if I'm going to put money on it, I'm going to say it's going to be a kickboxing bout with kicks above the waist only. Back in the day, I think Pride folded because they had, it became public that they had associations or... they were linked to the Yakuza, which is obviously the Japanese mafia, for want of a better description. And they lost all their TV deals, or the corporate sponsors kind of pulled away and stepped away from Pride because they didn't want the links to the Yakuza. Who knows if they're involved or not? I know nothing about that type of stuff. Can't pretend that I do. I don't really keep up on the Japanese scene, believe it or not. I'm not involved in Japanese subculture. I know you're surprised by that. But it's true. I don't know the ins and outs of the Japanese crime organizations. Maybe they're involved, though. Maybe, and they're putting up some of the money. Maybe for Floyd Mayweather, as you say, they're going to co-promote. I know Floyd Mayweather is also managing and promoting and training and looking to get involved in the MMA world. So maybe this is going to be a longer play. Maybe it's not a one-off, payday for Floyd. They'll say, listen, we'll pay you X amount of money. We'll also take on some of your fighters from the money team. So I mean, there's many ways to skin a cat, many ways to get at the final result. So it's not going to be as simple as we're going to give you $50 million or whatever it is. Although who knows, maybe, but definitely a shock yesterday when that came out.
It was sort of out of nowhere.
Totally out of nowhere. But I would love to see McGregor and Khabib. I'm looking forward to seeing what they say because obviously Khabib was angling for that fight. McGregor had the fight and lost. It's going to be interesting because 50 Cent came out already and he's talking shit about Floyd. Obviously, Floyd and 50 Cent, they always go back and forth on social media. But he's talking shit, saying, look at who you're fighting here, a 20-year-old. I can't remember what the put down was. But he does look like an extra from like a boy band.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, this guy, this is, let's see. What is this? You sent me a tweet from Conor McGregor. What is that?
That's McGregor's response to the Mayweather news.
The Mayweather news. Okay, so he goes,
I haven't heard this or seen it. Can we bring it up on screen? Oh, who cares?
Yeah, it says Conor McGregor, some giggle off that cherry pick kush. And it's him smoking a blunt with Mike Tyson. I don't understand it.
That's it. That news broke, and then he put that out on Twitter holding proper 12 the next night.
Yeah, but hold on. He was on Instagram talking some fucking weird lecturous bullshit about Mike Tyson as well. So maybe it's got something to do with that. Maybe it's not linked. Who knows? Who knows? But that'll be interesting. So anyway, there you go. Floyd Mayweather is officially unretired again. A lot of people last night, their initial reaction was that this was a hoax, a scam, fake news, whatever you want to call it. But if they're holding press conferences in Japan, the Japanese are very serious people, and I don't think they're going to go through this exercise just to fool everybody. For Floyd Mayweather,
this is New Year's Eve, correct?
Apparently so. New Year's Eve.
That's so close. That's not really enough time to learn any real new skill sets for Floyd Mayweather. But also, he's been posting pictures of him training MMA and kickboxing for a little while now. I think Floyd, under the radar, is training MMA. This is what I think is going on. I think that he's prep because he knows he can, his name, that star power, he can be the biggest MMA draw of all time. He can put his MMA debut, I don't give a fuck who it was against. If Floyd Money Mayweather made a debut in MMA eventually, that would be the most watched fight ever. Period.
Well, I don't know about that, to be honest. I really don't know. No. You're forgetting that Mayweather, of course, super successful and wealthy as a boxer, but all of his pay-per-views haven't been that good. They didn't all do astronomical numbers. Some of them quite recently prior to McGregor weren't that good. So you got to have a good dance partner, because remember Mayweather, listen, I'm a fan of the sweet science and the way he handles his opponents, but it's not always the most exciting thing. Of course, with Oscar De La Hoya, that was big. With Pacquiao, they were huge. Of course, the McGregor one was massive. So when you've got somebody they can dance off and two colossal forces, yeah, that brings a lot of eyeballs. But when it's just him, not necessarily.
He does have a dance partner. 3 letters. UFC.
Oh, yeah. No. If Mayweather came to the UFC for sure, but he would only do that under a co-promotion, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, Harrington, he messaged me. Rumors have been surfacing that he's been training for 5 years, dating back to his first retirement fight before Pacquiao, meaning in MMA. Here's the thing, though. If he was training any sort of real MMA, there'd be some footage or some stories, some fucking like, oh, dude, this guy trains with him. I mean, has there been anybody talking about
Tyron Woodley? Tyron Woodley said that he was training him for a while. Really? He said that he was getting him. This was a while ago. I want to say last year. Who knows? Was it last year? Maybe shortly after the McGregor fight. Yeah. Tyron Woodley was talking about him and, helping him with his takedowns and things like that. So, but I think this fight will be a kickboxing fight with kicks above the waist only. That lends itself to Floyd's skill set, but it doesn't stop things like spinning wheel kicks, which Floyd definitely isn't used to dealing with, or front kicks to the face. So yeah, anyway, that'll be interesting to see how all that pans out.
All right, Mike, real quick, I got to talk about Blue Chew, who I love. The best sponsor on the network, in my opinion, is Blue Chew, because if you don't know, it's the same active ingredient as Viagra or Cialis. It is a chewable dick pill. Is that a good way to put it?
Hey, I mean, I feel like it gets the point across. It's definitely painting a picture that you chew it and it's for your dick and it's in the form of a pill. Yeah. And this isn't for erectile dysfunction. No. We know Lewis uses it for that because he has erectile dysfunction.
A weak man.
Apart from when he's looking at men. But it's a sexual aid. And Lewis also needs help in that department. So this is really, no wonder you love this, but BlueChew.com, and you don't need a prescription. You don't need to go and see the doctor and say, I'm not very good in the sack. How do they do this, Lewis? How do they get some of this product inside them? You go to BlueChew.com and you just fill out an online application so you get your prescription right online. You don't have to sit in front of a doctor and say, hey, doc, I'm trying to, get my rocks off better. That's the best way I describe it. It makes my sex life better. Okay, this is because it does make your dick bigger. I don't want to make it sound like it makes your dick bigger, but it does make my dick bigger, and I'll tell you how. Because let me tell you why. Because tell me how.
You're fuller and more ready. Imagine the first time you have sex with a really hot chick. It's as big as it's gonna get. That's the best way to put it. So
every time we do this advert, you get far too graphic.
No,
I'm seeing veins and things in my mind right now. I don't want to see them. But I will tell you this. It has the same ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. So you know that they're chewable. So that means they work faster. You can take them anytime, even on a full stomach. And this stuff is cheaper than those other two. So this is a no-brainer. And as Lewis said, you don't need a doctor's office appointment or spend time waiting in the pharmacy line because Blue Chew ships right to your door in discreet packaging. So, of course, for our loyal listeners, we have a fantastic deal. Visit bluechew.com and get your first shipment free when you use the promo code BYM. Just pay $5 shipping. Again, that's blue, B-L-U-E, chew, CHEW.com. Promo code BYM. Have a fantastic time. This one's on me and Lewis. Your wife, your boyfriend, your whatever will thank us. Lewis, let's continue on with this show. All right, finally, UFC 230 at the weekend. 3 things, really, unless there's something I'm missing, but the biggest 3 fights to talk about, Adesanya, Weidman, Jacare, and, of course, the main event. Is there anything that I'm missing there?
No.
Harrington?
No, that's what we got to talk
think of
about.
anything, Mike.
And you're talking about, spinning wheel kicks and crazy axe kicks and all this other shit. Dude, Israel Adesanya, he's such a bad motherfucker. He is so good. Just watching, I don't think I've ever seen him fight live. First of all, he's super charismatic. Really has a crowd on his side. Really becoming a star. Whatever it was, they just weren't buying Derek Brunson. It's not even that Derek Brunson is unlikable or whatever it is. Like, they liked Adesanya so much that they were just booing the fuck out of Derek Brunson. And New York crowds are a little disrespectful, to be honest. They're booing Cormier a lot as well. But I think he's a very special athlete.
No, he is. Adesanya is a very special athlete, very charismatic, as you said. We're going to try and get him back on the show because a lot of people are messaging saying they're still waiting for Adesanya to come on. So we'll get that taken care of. Yeah, he's great. He really is. He's the real deal. But I will say this. And I'm a fan of him, so I'm not talking shit. Saturday night, and this caused a topic of conversation on the FS1 post-fight show. Adesanya was... Sorry, pardon me. Derek Brunson was like a rabbit in the headlights. To which Cameron Brown told me, no, it's a deer in the headlight. Well, not if you live in fucking England, okay? In England, it's a rabbit in the headlight. Deer, you say rabbit, we say deer. So you say deer, we say rabbit, potato, whatever you want to call it, okay? Stop nitpicking on that and focus on what I'm saying. Derek Brunson was intimidated. Now, what did impress me about Adesanya was that on a couple of occasions, Brunson did get the double underhooks, which is a very, very strong position for a wrestler to get you. And Adesanya defended perfectly. But he wasn't committing. He looked like he was terrified. Listen, I'm not taking away from Adesanya. Adesanya was he was masterful. For want of a better word, he was slick. He was on point. He was charismatic. That little dance he did afterwards was awesome. The speech afterwards was cool as hell. Is it walk in the park? Nah. Walk in the garden, Madison, baby. That was very, very cool. He looks good. Your girlfriend is in love with him. I mean, what more do you want, Lewis?
Look, if I'm gonna get cucked by somebody, I would rather it be Adesanya than Black Beast or any of the other slew of gigantic black men that could be cucking me. At least he's fucking trim and fucking lean. I get to feel like a man still at the end of it,
Where do you think Adesanya goes after this? What do you think should be a logical matchup?
I think he's a fight away from a title shot. He's undefeated, right? What's his record?
Yeah, he's undefeated at 13-0 now, I think, something like that. Here's what I think. Obviously, we'll get into the Jacare Weidman in a minute, but as we all know, anyone that saw it, Jacare won at the weekend. Gastelum and Whittaker, they're fighting, I think it's February in Australia. So there's a bit of time to go before that fight. And who knows if they're going to get injured in that fight. So it might be 4, 5, 6 months before another title fight happens after that. So, of course, Adesanya, he didn't even get hit at the weekend. So there's not a mark on him. So he's going to want to fight again. Of course, keep racking up those paydays, putting money in the bank and staying active and improving. When you're a fighter, the more you train, the more fight camps you have, the better you get. Simple as that. So he should stay active. I would say a fight against Jacare. Jacare won, Adesanya won. That's a logical matchup. And if Adesanya can beat Jacare, boom, then there is no question that he should be next in line for the title. I don't think Derek Brunson does it for him, if I'm honest. I don't think he's a caliber of opponent that gets him the title shot. And prior to that, no disrespect to Brad Tavares or Marvin Vettori, Brunson was a step up and he passed that test with flying colors. but he needs another step up. And Jacare, it sounds logical. Although, if I'm the UFC, I don't know if I want to give him Jacare because, that's a tough test for anybody.
Yeah, I mean it is, and I just don't know who else would be there that would make sense at all. I mean, I feel like anything else he might be fighting down. I'm looking for the middleweight rankings right now. I don't know if these are actually updated since the Adesanya fight. Luke Rockhold just injured, obviously. I mean, yeah, that's it, dude. Derek Brunson. This is on ESPN. Was ranked number 6.
Weidman.
Yep. Just Jacare, Yoel Romero, Luke Rockhold, Gegard, who's no longer in the UFC, and Weidman wasn't even ranked above Derek. Weidman was ranked number 7 according to ESPN. So, yeah, let me see. How old is this? Yeah, this is.
I think the UFC would be crazy to match Adesanya up with Yoel Romero. I just think, in terms of wrestling, it doesn't get any better than that in the UFC. I think he'd be fearless of the power of Adesanya. And listen, I'm not trying to shit on Adesanya. He'd probably get taken down. There's a good chance of him losing that fight. And from the UFC's perspective, Yoel, he had 2 title fights back to back and lost them both. In fact, he had an interim against Rockhold and 2 against Robert Whittaker. So he had 3 shots at the title.
Yeah, those. I'm looking for the actual UFC official rankings because that was older. That was from a few months ago. That was like 4 or 5 months ago. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. What you just said right there. And to be honest with you, look, I don't think that he's had anywhere near the test of Jacare. Jacare is a big step up above Brunson, in my opinion. But with the way, there they are right there. So it's Yoel, Luke Rockhold, Weidman, Gastelum, Jacare, Derek Brunson, Dave Brunson. Okay, so these aren't updated yet. These are before this past weekend's fights.
If Rockhold could make a recovery, Rockhold would be a good test as well. Obviously, I don't think the Rockhold Weidman rematch is going to happen anytime soon. So yeah, Jacare, Rockhold possibly. I wouldn't give him Yoel Romero because it doesn't make sense from the UFC's perspective. Why would you want to sacrifice one of your budding stars in the making in Adesanya and give him to somebody that just proved he can't win the belt? You know what I mean? So that doesn't make sense. Jacare, he proved himself Saturday night. He came back. Obviously, he lost to Whittaker and he lost to Gastelum, but he just beat Weidman. And it was a sensational fight as well. Let's just talk about that. Jacare, Weidman, well done to both of those people. Yeah, me and Weidman went back and forth over the years. He said some comments about my eye and whatnot, and I kind of spat my dummy out a little bit. But Weidman's all right. I wish him the best. And Weidman was doing well in that fight. He really was. He was controlling the fight. He won the first 2 rounds. He looked good. But what impressed me about Jacare is that he knew he was behind, and halfway through that 3rd round or whenever it was, he really started pouring the pressure on. He really went on the attack, on the offensive, putting together long combinations and just walking Weidman down. With reckless abandon, he was like, shit, well, I'm losing the fight anyway. So if I get knocked out, I'm going to get knocked out. But I've got to stop this guy to win this fight. And that's what he did. It was a right hand over the top, landed on the head, kind of on the temple, put him down. And then of course, we had that crazy, weird stoppage situation with Dan Mergliata. How was the crowd on Saturday night? When that happened, what was the reaction from the crowd, Lewis?
I don't think that they really, some people were sort of like, that looked late. Late's even a weird way to put it, like, because it was like he was already out. He should have stepped in and stopped it. It was just weird. It was a bizarre thing. He didn't really put him in any more danger. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just kind of stepped in too late. But he could have stopped it a couple seconds earlier, but he didn't get hit anymore, correct?
I mean, it was nice what Jacare did. Jacare dropped him. Weidman went down hard. And
did like a walk away.
Was he out? No, he wasn't out, but he was certainly out of it. 2 very different things, but basically resulting in the same thing. He was out of it. So Jacare, and I'll say, class act. He stood there and he's like, I don't want to hit this guy again. He's done. And he waited for the referee to stop, and Dan Mergliata was like, carry on. So then Chris Weidman, bless him, he's still trying to carry on. The guy's got heart for days. He's trying to grab the angle to do an ankle pick or something. But it was, I'm not trying to shit on Chris. He was kind of feeble. The guy was pretty much out, but he was still trying to do something, which has to be commended for. But Jacare was like, I don't want to hit this guy again. I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to do any damage. I don't want to,
Bisping. Michael Bisping would have fucking just started dropping the hammer again.
No, well, maybe. But remember what? Look at a similar scenario. Me versus Dan Henderson, the prick. Remember what he did to me? He put me down and fucking dived on me whilst I was fast asleep. So shame on Dan Henderson.
Dan Henderson, shame.
But, shame. But yeah, well done, Jacare. Unlucky Chris Weidman. It's a tricky one for Chris Weidman now. I think he's lost 4 out of his last 5. We were talking about this on the post-fight show. I mean, where does Chris Weidman go now? I think he can still make a lot of money. He can still carry on fighting. He's still one of the best middleweights in the world. I don't think he's going to be looking at a title fight anytime soon.
But
how old is he, Harrington?
He's still young. Weidman's a younger dude, right? If I had to guess, I'm going to say 33, 32.
Yeah,
34.
Sure.
34. Ooh, Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping wins. Fine. Yet again. Yeah, what do you do with him? I mean, yeah, look, obviously there's the things you say, oh, does he leave? Does he go to Bellator? You know, I think that there's something about the guys that are from New York. It's almost like another country. You know what I'm saying? We see this, you know, Dan Hardy lost, I think like fucking 5 in a row or some crazy shit, right? But they were like, no, we really want to have dudes from England in here. And he was very marketable. He was a great fighter, very exciting fighter. Weidman is a guy from New York. He sort of represents New York well. He was the guy that probably the crowd was behind the most of the night. You know.
Yeah, because he's New York's favorite MMA fighter.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's like if I was fighting in Manchester and, okay, I wasn't the champion, but I was still fighting. I'm still from around there. And I walked into that arena, I'd probably get a very, very positive reaction as well. So, you know, there's no surprise there, Lewis.
Well, I'm just saying that I think the UFC recognizes how important of a market New York is, and you need stars that are kind of representing New York. And Chris Weidman's still a star. And it's not like he's losing. It's not like he was debatably winning the fight. I think I saw it as Jacare had the first round, Weidman had the second round, and then
You're crazy. Weidman had the first, Weidman had the second. You know, maybe the second is open for debate. The first one was definitely
I'd have
Weidman.
to go. I was hammered, by the way. I should go. I was drinking a ton of whiskey that night, so I should say I don't remember. I could be thinking of a completely different fight. I might have been thinking about the ride on the subway. I have no idea. I got pretty drunk that night. But I remember thinking it was tied going into the third. But I also remember thinking that Jacare, during the fight, just seemed more powerful and seemed like he was the... he seemed just like a little bit more explosive, a little bit faster. Even though he was losing, it was almost like Chris was being more effective, whereas Jacare was being kind of the better fighter, I want to say. Or it just, I don't know. Like every time Jacare threw something, like I was like wincing, like, oh shit, this could be the shot. Whereas Chris is just a little different.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a close fight. Chris won rounds 1 and 2. He had sharper boxing. Jacare showed good head movement. Neither guy really tried to take it down to the floor. I was calling for a takedown from Chris in the third round. If he'd have got that, he'd have probably rounded out the round on top and he would have won. But it is what it is. We talked about Adesanya, talked about Weidman. Let's get into the main event now. Obviously, the narrative going into that fight, it was one thing and one thing only. Is Derek Lewis going to land one of those big shots on Daniel Cormier? Because, and again, I said this Saturday night, and I'll say it again just in case. I'm a massive, massive fan of Derek Lewis. I love everything about the guy. I like how he carries himself. He's very funny. He's charismatic. And he's a man that's had to fight through adversity in his life, and he's turned the tables around. Apparently, he spent, a relatively lengthy amount of time in prison. And now here he is. He's chose not to be a victim. He's chose to try and be productive, a productive member of society and make something of himself. And he's done very well, and here he is going into this fight. He even said after his last fight against Volkov when he won by knockout, he said, I'm not ready for a title fight. But when you get these opportunities, you've got to take them. You got to take them. You can't say, no, I don't want to fight at Madison Square Garden for the heavyweight title of the world. But going into that fight, everybody knew Cormier hasn't beat on experience. Cormier hasn't beat on wrestling ability for sure. Hasn't beat on speed. Not that far behind him on size, because Cormier weighed in at 251 as well. Hasn't beat on...
Well, he looked a lot bigger, though.
No. Taller, yes. But weight-wise, not that much different. 264 to 251.
Yeah, but also I would assume that Black Beast had to cut down because he was so much bigger. It was like, I saw a picture of Black Beast and Shaq, and that difference in size was about the difference in size between Black Beast and Cormier. Black Beast looks huge, so I don't know. But if I had to assume, he had to cut down to 264 to get down there. He's not, and Cormier just got to fucking eat whatever he wanted to. 255. He loves it. He looks like he's so happy fighting at heavyweight.
Oh, for sure he is. But the thing was, you can't learn to wrestle overnight. Wrestling takes a long time, and even in the practice room, when you're training and you're drilling and you're doing your double legs, and you look at it and you think, oh, that looks good. To actually use that technique properly in a live situation is very, very hard. It's very difficult. It takes years and years of practice.
Against Daniel Cormier, who's one of the best wrestlers in the world, Olympic caliber wrestler, one of the best in the world to do it, period, at heavyweight, which is, the biggest, best in the world. There's no way. You can't catch up. I don't give a fuck how long he wrestles for. Black Beast is never catching up on the wrestling with Daniel Cormier for the rest of his life. No way.
Ever. So I know the crowd were getting a little pissed off because they wanted to see Derek Lewis and Daniel Cormier, two big dudes, swinging it out like crazy and giving you an exciting fight. But if you're Daniel Cormier, the very, very clear route to victory is to just take the guy down. He's a wrestling master. Okay, he's wrestled his whole life. He went to the Olympics. When he's not training for a fight, he's coaching wrestling teams. He's coaching kids. He's coaching very, very good high-level wrestlers. Callum, last year at the state finals, got beat by a guy in the California state finals by one of Cormier's wrestling, a guy that Cormier trains. Oh. He is utterly, fuck that guy. He's totally and utterly submerged in the wrestling world. And he's fighting a guy that can't wrestle. So what are you going to do? You're going to take him down. It's as simple as that. My only fear for Cormier was that maybe because he knocked out Stipe, he was like, yeah, I can compete with this guy. But obviously he didn't do that. He played it smart. And he got an easy win. He didn't even take a shot. And that was that. And now probably solidified that fight with Brock Lesnar. Shame for Derek Lewis. But, at the end of the day, he got paid a lot of money. He fought at Madison Square Garden. He'll have those memories. And you never know. He might get a chance to fight for the heavyweight belt again.
And to be honest with you, you fought for the fucking UFC heavyweight belt. It is such a small percentage of people in the world that will ever get to do anything anywhere near that incredible. And at
Madison Square Garden, the most iconic venue in the world.
There's no shame. Derek Lewis could literally kill 99.9% of the population with his bare hands. Literally. I mean, he could just do it. Just smush their heads and kill them until they stop breathing. That's just that. That's the reality. So no shame on Derek Lewis. I will say, shame on anybody who thought that it was going to be any different. Puncher's chance, I don't know. I mean, come on. Daniel Cormier has been fighting big guys his whole life. I was very clear about thinking that Daniel Cormier was going to win. I even tweeted out last minute, I bet $50 against Harrington that on Derek Lewis. He gave me good odds on it. So I was like, fuck it, I'll throw $50 on Derek Lewis. Who knows? Puncher's chance, right? But I tweeted out, I was like, just bet $50 on Derek Lewis, even though he's getting stopped in the second. And couldn't have been any more clear. How are you angry about Daniel Cormier taking this monster down, out-wrestling him, outclassing him in every capacity or in every sense of the word, and then stopping him in the second? It's as exciting as it gets. It's what's beautiful about the sport. It shines a little bit of a light on how far behind New York fans are from the West Coast fans or the Los Angeles fans, because I don't think people would have booed Daniel Cormier out on the West Coast for taking down Derek Lewis. I think there's a lot more people in New York who are a little more casual. It just got, New York, it just got passed in New York. MMA is not the same type of thing in New York City that is out on the West Coast. And I think that we are guilty of some meatheads in the crowd starting these, stupid fucking... I'm embarrassed for people to boo Daniel Cormier, double champion. It's embarrassing, dude. He's one of the best fighters in the world. Best pound. The only guy he's ever been beat by is a known fucking cheat who came in and fucking tested positive after that fight. Fuck that.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally
shame
agree.
on New York crowd. Shame.
I don't want to shame it, but okay. Only because you're from there. Okay, shame on the New York. And I'm coming to New York on Friday. So if I get accosted by New York people, I'm blaming you. You're right. The beautiful thing about that fight, it was definitely a throwback kind of fight. Not entirely, because Cormier can strike. But you had the wrestler versus the grappler. Sorry, the striker versus the grappler in some respects, and who's going to prevail, who's going to win. That does make it exciting, but there you go. A lot of options for Daniel Cormier right now. He is sitting on top of this sport right now and made history. The only person, of course, Conor was a double champ, DC is a double champ, and other people have held the belt in 2 weight divisions, but not consecutively or at the same time. But DC is the only person now to go out there, be a double champ, and defend both of those belts. So history-making Saturday night for Daniel Cormier. Well done again. We'll try and get him on the show soon so he can tell us how great he is. But he deserves it, man. He did amazing. He really did. For me, it was bittersweet Saturday night, Lewis. I'm there. I'm having to talk up all these fights, but nobody spared a second for me because it was the anniversary of me losing my belt, my middleweight title belt, 1 year to the fucking day. And I'm like, so how insensitive of these people to get to break down these.
Wouldn't it be more insensitive to be like, oh, hey, Michael Bisping, didn't you lose your belt today at that exact arena right there? How does it feel? Anyway, put the camera on him. Good, go, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, geez, guys, but you want me to break down these people and what am I, like a piece of meat with no emotions at all? You want to put me here? Oh, God.
Did you get emotional? Did you get emotional thinking about it that night?
Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. It is what it is. I was going to say, for Derek Lewis, what the good thing is about when you fight at Madison Square Garden, certainly the main event, when I was there, they give you great gifts. They do, to commemorate you fighting there. And they gave me, I could show it, but it's in the other room. They gave me one of the tickets for the event, but solid silver with Bisping versus GSP, Madison Square Garden, and it was Tiffany's silver in a beautiful presentation case. I mean, that's a pretty awesome gift.
Oh, I know, because you already told me that fucking story on this podcast.
Whoa.
Michael Bisping said it best.
No, it's okay. Harrington will only push that button in 45 seconds. And when we're talking about another thing,
forget it.
Right. Going forward, we need
Shannon.
all the sound bites ready to go. Bing, bing, bing. Push, push, push.
And I feel like your volume's coming up and down a little bit. I think we have to get you a new microphone this week. Don't touch it. Do not touch that microphone.
My microphone is fine. It is solid. The input is good. The content is fantastic. And it is great. But that is our UFC 230 countdown.
All right, Mike, real quick, I got to talk about CBDMD, which I love. I've become a huge CBD fan. I have major anxiety. We've talked about it plenty of times on the show. I smoke weed, obviously, but I can't smoke weed all day, every day. I can't wake and bake. I'm not a kid anymore. I take a little bit of CBD in the morning, a little bit under the tongue. CBDMD, they're a company that creates unbelievable CBD products, the highest quality CBD available in the country, 100% grown in the USA, best prices per milligram. They're just an amazing quality company. We love working with companies that we can really get behind, and this is one of the companies. Mike, I know you work with them on another level. You've been using their products for a few months now. You swear by them. You won't work with products that you don't use.
No, for sure. I do love the products from CBDMD. CBDMD USA on Instagram, by the way, if you want to give them a follow. But yeah, listen, I do love their products. They work. They're fantastic. And not only that, a lot of people I know that have been using their products. It was very kind of CBDMD. They hooked me up with some extra products. I gave some to my mom and dad. I gave some to the producer at Fox. He was having a major issue with his neck and his back, and he's been getting helped out a ton from CBDMD. So listen, get involved. If you've never tried it, we have a fantastic offer on for you right now. And this stuff is the highest quality CBD you can get. It's all grown in the USA. And as I say, it's a great deal. Go to cbdmd.com. Use their topical creams, a mass variety of products. If you want to lie in the bath and feel the benefit of CBD, they got bath bombs. You want oils, they got oils. They got drops. You want things you want to rub into your body. You name it, they got it. They do it, and it's great, and it really works. In fact, I just remembered this. I have the symptoms of a torn meniscus right now, and I rubbed on some of their CBDMD Recover. The next day, I swear to God, my knee wasn't hurting. So there you go. So go to cbdmd.com and use the promo code BYM20. You're going to get 20% off your initial order.
Wow.
CBDMD.com. Promo code BYM20, 20% off. Get rid of those aches and pains. Feel good. Get your body back in homeostasis. All right. Okay. What are we doing? Have we got any questions? Do we have any suitors for Alfie the dog? Do we have any video messages? What have we got?
Claiming that webmail is down and that we can't get into. Listen to me. I mean this. Harrington won't be here anymore. Today's the last day, guys. This episode's going to be named Harrington's Fired, and it's his last fucking day at Gas Digital because he can never do anything fucking right. And it's just Michael Bisping. It's just a fucking former UFC middleweight champion of the world. We're just trying to fucking show him that we could do a good job every week, but Harrington can do none of it.
I fly to New York on Friday, but you're not going to be there, right, Lewis?
I'll be Monday. I'm coming back specifically to do a show with you to New York.
Don't get on Harrington's case when you can't even commit to being here, Lewis. You know,
I just said
at least Harrington's trying. Harrington's trying. You know, he's trying his best. God bless him.
That's embarrassing.
You pay peanuts, you get monkeys, Lewis. Okay.
All I heard was you pay penis, you get monkeys.
You pay peanuts. NUTS. Pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Not that I'm calling Harrington a monkey, of course. Yeah, I'm coming into New York Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'll be in New York. We'll do the show together. Then I fly off to Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to go there, hang out there, got some meetings. I'm going to do some North Carolina shit.
Like a terrible accent?
I don't know. Whatever they do in North Carolina, I'll be there. Hit me up. What goes on in North Carolina? What can I do for fun?
What do they do in North Carolina for fun? I think you make whiskey in a boot.
At NASCAR, we got a meeting at NASCAR, so that'll be fun. I won't go into details on that, but other than that, over a few hours, I got 2 days in Charlotte.
Michael Bisping becoming a NASCAR driver.
Listen, you know, I got layers. I'm like an onion, and you know, my fighting days are over. But now I'm going to become a world famous NASCAR driver.
All right. Well, we can ask from the chat, I guess. If you guys are subscribers to Gas Digital, you should know that we have a live chat during the live shows, which we have right now. So if you guys are listening to the live chat, shoot us a question right now, and I will read the best couple questions on the show with Michael Bisping. We'll answer them honestly on the show. So if you have anything you want to ask, also we do have some from Twitter as well. So if you want to look up some from Twitter, Harrington, people responded to Michael Bisping's tweet a little bit earlier on. If you love the show, you know it's live and free every Monday at 3:30. Sometimes we do a second show. But we have every episode available on demand ever that we've ever done at GasDigitalNetwork.com. You can get the latest 15 on iTunes, the latest 4 on YouTube. But if you want them all, and if you want them ad-free, you get them a day before they go to iTunes and YouTube and uncensored as well. Use the promo code BYM. Get a 14-day free trial at GasDigitalNetwork.com. And, see if you enjoy it. It's a great, great network. You guys will love it. Harrington, if you have anything on Twitter, question-wise, let us know now. And you fucking better at this point. You're not that nice.
Harrington, this is your big moment to save yourself.
I'm trying to find one you haven't already replied to, Mike.
Oh, my God.
It's kind of hard. You're very active on social media. I'm sorry.
Wait.
Well, that's what I do. You know, if I ask a question and people give me an answer, I like to respond. I mean, call it what you will. Call me efficient, call me effective, call me responsive, call me narcissistic, call me whatever you want. But I like to answer people.
That's why you haven't hit me yet. What super fight in Japan would have suited you best?
What super fight in Japan would have suited me best? I mean, this is what happened,
Pride days.
Lewis.
I can't even.
Really?
Dude. I can't.
Okay.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? Give me some context.
Are you saying like back in the day, in the height
Yes.
of Pride, the same way Chuck went over and
Yes.
fought Alistair Overeem? What would have been the big crossover fight that you would have wanted?
I mean, I did get to fight Vanderlei Silva, but I was robbed. That was bullshit. I was robbed of that by the Australian crowd. When I fought Vanderlei Silva in Sydney, I would hit him with a lot of good shots. I took him down multiple times. I slammed him multiple times, and the crowd wouldn't say anything. He would throw a punch, and he would not hit me, but almost glance, and the crowd would erupt into massive cheers. So I think that swayed the judges. But Vanderlei would have been cool. Shogun, I was a massive fan of his as well. Whenever I think of Pride, I think of, I don't know, there's a handful of fighters that come to mind. Obviously, Vanderlei, Shogun, Rampage, Fedor, and Nogueira. I mean, those five are the epitome of the Pride fighters, of their stable, of their roster. Are you familiar with Pride, Lewis?
Yeah, I was pretty familiar with it. It was when I was sort of at my UFC obsession days, but I also picked a team. I was like, no, I'm a UFC guy. So whereas I liked the Pride fights because you wanted to get more MMA, it was the packaging of it was too distracting for me to really get into it. Like, I loved the UFC. Like, I loved what they did, and there were some cool things, but I could never sort of get past it. I could never get emotionally attached to the fighters because it was so different than the way they packaged UFC.
Yeah, it definitely was different, but I liked it. I mean, back in the day, because, I mean, you spoke about it before with Floyd Mayweather, talking about the 60,000 seat arena. I think they even did bigger than that. The Saitama Super Arena in Tokyo, they could have, I don't know, 80,000 people there. And one thing that they did, and it was very, very WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it, but they would walk out on the big, massive stages and the ramps and the lasers and the fire and all that type of stuff. UFC can't do that, because they like to follow, this is what Dana told me, they like to follow the way boxing did it, so it feels more of a sport and not like WWE. But also that kills a massive segment of the seating. If you have these huge ramps coming right through the middle of the seating area, then obviously that's seats that you can't sell. But they were in these huge 80,000 seater arenas, so they could get away with doing that. But yeah, Pride was very cool. It was very cool. I mean, it was certainly different. The rules were different. It seemed a lot more gruesome. The first round was a 10-minute round, and then the next two were 5-minute rounds. Seemed to be like, well, kind of like the UFC. Steroids weren't really tested for back then. In fact, if anything, I think Pride kind of encouraged it. So, but yeah, definitely legendary times in mixed martial arts. And when I first started in MMA, I'm actually writing a book about it right now, and I'm doing a documentary about it as well. But I was focusing on either UFC or Pride. Surprise, surprise. But Pride definitely where a lot of my attention was. Obviously, I did Japanese jiu-jitsu, and I was obsessed with Japanese culture and martial arts when I was younger. Never got to go. Still never been to Japan to this day. Never been there. Never fought there. But I like the food.
It is pretty good. My son likes sushi. He's 5 years old, and he's already eating sushi, which I'm impressed with because I didn't try sushi until I was like fucking 25. It was garbage.
Japanese food's amazing, isn't it? I love it.
Yeah.
And not just the sushi. I mean, you people think it's just sushi. Japanese food is incredible. It really is one of my favorites to go to. But yeah, do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? Or
anything else, Harrington?
This one's kind of interesting. With the announcement of UFC London, do you think Till will headline for his return to the octagon after the big title defeat? Big fan of the show. And if it is Till, I'm just wondering, you guys, who do you think will fight?
Oh, interesting question. I mean, of course, right now, Darren Till is the, he's spearheading British mixed martial arts now. That's a fact, Yeah, I think he should. I mean, the fight's going to be in March. He just fought Woodley, a couple of months ago, something like that. It was a first-round stoppage. It wasn't particularly a war. He'll be ready to go in March. I'm not sure if he's going to come back at welterweight or middleweight. I know he was, flirting with the idea of going to middleweight. But yeah, it should be Darren Till. I mean, yeah, he lost, but no shame in that. He's still one of the best in the world. And I think that would be a fantastic fight for him to fight in the UK, which his last fight was in Liverpool. That was a massive response. Of course, he beat Stephen Wonderboy Thompson there in a very close fight. I think Darren Till would be a fantastic choice. That Jimmy Manower would be another one. But Darren Till, I mean, that'd be a chance. From the UFC's perspective, you build a star, you build a fighter, you put all this promotion into them, and then when they lose, it kind of stings. But to stick him back on in the UK, get him all that support, it helps bolster all the promotion that they give. And if he can come back and have a great win on home soil, it gets the UK behind him again. So I think that's a great choice and a great pick. Who he fights, obviously, that depends on what weight division he competes at. I know Ben Askren was calling him out. That would be a welterweight fight. I wouldn't put him in there with Ben Askren. that's just going to be a boring fight. Not that he can't grapple, not that Till can't grapple. That's not what I'm saying. But if he loses that fight, he's just going to get pinned down and held down for 5 rounds.
It's a bad way to lose.
It's a terrible way to lose on your hometown after losing your title fight, you know?
Yeah. And look, Askren's an animal. I think it's a bad fight. The UFC, I will say it's almost good. They don't really do fucking tune-up fights. They don't really do gimme fights. We don't really ever see it. Like it's always like it's just inherently built into the sport. Like any given Sunday, anybody could win. You can lose that fight, period. And we've seen it happen time and time again. But the UFC, they seem to, at the very least, it may not necessarily be always the number 1 versus number 2 guy, but it's always the most marketable. And a lot of the time it ends up falling to the guys that are, the most deserving, right? So I think that it's kind of a long way to put it, is I think the UFC is going to probably make Askren Till, because there's some rumors about it already. Askren is a guy who they're paying a lot of money for, guaranteed, and this seems to be the fight that he's looking for. And Till, he seems like a really
what if Till's going to go up to 185 though? That completely kills that.
Well, yeah, I guess if that's the case, that's the case. But I guess has he ever said he's moving to 185, or is just he has sort of
I think so.
about?
Yeah. Harrington, has there been any mention of that you know of?
I know the rumors have sort of been like he said trouble making 170. I don't know. I don't pay that much attention. Has he said specifically that he's going to make the move to 185?
Yeah, in October he made that announcement.
Oh, he is officially. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong about that. All right, so yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I'm an idiot. And fuck me.
By October, that could literally be a few days ago. We're only in, what is it, November 5th? Is it November 5th today? Oh my God.
It's
Bonfire Day.
I got it.
It's Bonfire Day. What have you got?
I got another fight. Timing wise, this is March, UFC London.
Tell me the fight. I want to get into Bonfire Day.
Okay, but you're gonna love this fight.
Go ahead.
If he moves to 185, Israel Adesanya.
Boom. That's a great fight.
It's a fucking
very good
monster fight.
And could you imagine the shit talk between the two of them?
Ooh, I want to see that fight.
Darren Till talks a lot of shit. It'd be interesting to see how Till comes back with the shit talk, after, he lost badly in the first round. We all know that. It's going to be interesting to see if that's affected his confidence. I don't think it will. We all have bad nights at the office. Yeah. But Till versus Adesanya, that'd be an interesting fight for sure. That'd be certainly main event worthy. Certainly London would love that event. I like it. Adesanya, Darren Till, 185, London, March. I'll be there. Sign me up, bitches.
I'll go too. Fuck it. Let's just go. I want to go right now. I want to see that fight so badly.
Live podcast in London prior to the March fight.
Friday night fucking party, pre-party after the weigh-ins at some fucking pub. I'm assuming that's what they have.
Well, I actually have an opportunity that's been building, Lewis. So I'll speak to you about that off air. So maybe we'll be doing that. But yeah, Till versus Adesanya, 185. Interesting fight. 2 good strikers. No takedowns involved. Ooh.
Doggy, that is the fight to fucking make, period. Just across the board. 2 stars, 1 undefeated, 1 coming off his first loss ever to a fucking champion. Style-wise, it makes sense. Adesanya, he's not a super huge 185-pounder, right?
Well, he's 6'4".
Oh, he's a lanky motherfucker.
He's a lanky motherfucker.
Oh, man. Kim should just leave me right now for him. He's probably got a huge dick.
Massive.
6'4" black guy. If you got a small dick, you'd kill yourself when you're 12. If you had a small dick at 6'4".
6'4" black guy, famous.
Oh my God.
World-class fighter. And now obviously amassing the riches.
Doggy, I would leave Kim for him right now if he would have me.
I have no response.
Shame. What are you so homophobic for? What's your problem, bro?
I'm not homophobic in the slightest, but I'm just disgusted that you would leave Kim for Adesanya. I thought you guys were in love. I thought you guys were a solid item. I thought there was a bond there that could not be broken. But no, nothing to do with being homophobic. You would just toss her aside for the next, for the better opportunity.
6'4" black man.
UFC. Give me a 6'4" black guy. Boom, boom,
future champion? Kim's not going to be a future champion. It ain't happening.
It ain't happening. Goodbye, Kim. It was good to know you.
All right, that's it. been a good
You know,
show.
it's November the 5th. It's Bonfire Night in England.
What does that mean?
I know, but what it means is, I forget the year, but a long, long time ago, Guy Fawkes, who was an old school terrorist, tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament, and they foiled the gunpowder plot. And now, to celebrate every year, they have bonfires in every town across England. They have the bonfires, and then they have a firework display. All that stuff. Hey, do you know what? It's a pain in the ass. It really is. I hated Bonfire Night because we'd all go up Clitheroe Castle. There'd be a huge bonfire. They would try and make the bonfire weeks in advance so that the council would put all the wood on there, and then people could bring stuff from their house and stick it on the bonfire. But little shits, not like me because I never did, but some of my friends and stuff would always light the bonfire too soon, and then the fire brigade would come down and put the bonfire out. But it's a bonfire; it's literally designed to be burnt, but it wasn't ready yet because it wasn't Bonfire Night. But then you go up there on Bonfire Night, and it's November in England. It's raining all the time, and you're just basically in a field of mud, standing around a bonfire. You get covered in shit, and then go home. It's massively overrated. I hated Bonfire Night. But if you are out there in England going to Bonfire Night, be careful. A lot of injuries happen on Bonfire Night because people buy fireworks. They sell fireworks all over the country, every shop. So you got to be careful with the fireworks. When we were kids, though, this is how awesome or old school my dad was. We'd get the rockets, and the old milk bottles that we got on our doorstep were tall glass milk bottles. And the neighbors at the end of the street, they were of a similar mind. So we'd have rocket fights. We put the rockets in the milk bottles, light them, and we'd shoot the rockets at them, and they'd shoot them back at us. Pretty sure that behavior is frowned upon in this day and age.
Yeah.
But in the 80s, that was fair game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know how many kids lost their fingers in the 80s and 90s from just fucking holding an M80 for too long? That's like a quarter stick of dynamite. You know, kids aren't supposed to play with it. I think about my kid right now. The first time
Hold on. What's M80? Is that a firework?
It's a type of firecracker, and it's just basically like a quarter or a fifth of a stick of dynamite. So all it does is make a huge, loud boom. That's it. There's nothing else besides that. There's nothing beautiful, nothing crazy. It just sounds like a shotgun blast. And kids would just blow their fingers off with them left and right.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
happens all the time in England. It's terrible. You hear about it. On November the 6th, the news is always the stories of kids that have hurt themselves or kids that have blown their fingers off, as you say. Because they say never go back to a lit firework, right? But if you buy a box of fireworks and they're running out and you light it and it doesn't go off, you go back and you try and light it again, and then the thing goes off in your hand. So it's very, very sad. It is. But if you're out there at a bonfire night, be safe and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and also, to be honest with you, if you go back and I'm not going to say it's funny if a child blows their fingers off, but, you know, if you're above...
Because it's definitely... The reason you're not going to say that, Lou, is because it's definitely not funny if a child blows their fingers off.
But like a 14-year-old. Like the Puerto Rican kid that was beating up the teacher or cursing at the teacher. A kid that age, if you blow your finger off, I have no remorse for you. I'm sorry. You know, come on.
I don't think it's funny if anybody blows their fingers off.
Nobody? What about somebody...
All right.
Trying to think of somebody.
There's definitely a few people that I'd like to blow the fingers off. Yeah, in this world. Generally, as a rule, I don't like people to blow the fingers off. Yes, if you force me to give you a couple of names, I could happily give you a few names of people that would like to see their heads blown off.
Oh, come on. That's too far. There's no firecracker big enough for that. What are you, crazy?
Oh, dear. Well, maybe I just go take one of these random guns lying around in people's American homes.
Come on, stop being political.
Would do it.
Stop it, Michael Bisping.
I'm not being political. But there is guns in glove boxes, in houses, and everywhere, and it's stupid. How long have we been going for?
We're good. We're over an hour and 20. Get a couple ads done. We're good, man. Look, thanks guys so much for listening. Another great show.
Do we have any questions?
We had two of them. We had two. We answered two.
Oh, we did.
You're psycho.
All right. Well, I guess are we going to do another show Thursday?
Yeah, we'll do another one Thursday. We'll do a second one this week, which is going to be great. We love you guys. Thank you for listening. And also make sure you go to YouTube right now. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's been growing tremendously. Thank you. And tell your friends about the show. That's the best thing you could do. If you can't do anything else, just go fucking tell a friend, be like, hey, dude, you like MMA? You like guys that just talk shit, like pretty fucking, I think in a pretty real way. We don't really edit ourselves or censor ourselves in any way. Just tell a friend. I promise you right now, they'll enjoy it. We appreciate it. It really does help us out. And that's that. So,
yeah. Thanks for listening. See you Thursday. Look after yourself. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, thanks for listening to the show. As you know, here at the Gas Digital Network, we have 22 amazing shows. One of those shows is Zach Amico's Midnight Spook Show, where comedian Zach Amico watches a horror film with a couple other comics and they comment on it. Here's a clip. Enjoy.
Zach Amico's Midnight Spook Show.
Guys, when's the last time you think you watched Halloween?
I think it was at a sleepover in like 6th grade, and I
Did some gay shit.
yeah. They it was with all the guys on the baseball team, and they made me get around and go around naked and put my dick in this kid's ear.
I really hope that's true.
Yeah, it is.
You watched Halloween and did some gay shit.
Yeah. It was a very. I think it was sort of molested. Did I get molested when I watched Halloween? I don't know.
And we'll have when the music starts. If you get hard, you were molested.
Well, I told my mom. I told my mom, and she didn't get mad at them. She got mad at me for being so weak to allow myself to do that. I was like, this is gonna play out real well in a couple of years.
My boys are top. Shit, man. Let's watch Halloween.
Let's do it. I'm getting hard.
All right, you were molested.
Up. He's going to be in the car. No, he's going to be back in the house. I was right. He's going to be in the car. Aha!
This show should literally just be Ian reacts to the decisions white women make in movies.
Why is he waiting outside? Why is he not waiting inside the house? Ah, there he is. Oh, Jason. Yo, Mikey Myers got joked. Woo! My man did his homework.
I love watching this movie with fucking Yamanika Fidance over here.
No, bitch!
That's where he lived.
Zach Amico's Midnight Spook Show.
All right, guys, thanks for listening to the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go out there, like, subscribe, tell your friends.
I was going to say tell your friends. That was my part.
Oh, fucking hell, you are. You can't think of some generic toss. All right, guys, that's the show. If you enjoy...
That's it. Just make it that.